and I really felt a lack at first. When she went to the room, suddenly there was a voice that kept repeating, Mom. Mom, welcome back to Zero Degree Space. Joey Pink. Today we're going to celebrate, well, not really celebrate, but today is our last episode of 2024. Today we have 10 stories and we've picked 10 to share with you. Then we'll also do a poll.
对，所以你们听了这10个故事之后呢，你们就可以在旁边跟我们讲，哎，你们喜欢哪一个故事比较多
？Yes. And then you need to vote because the first place winner will get all the gifts. Our gifts, we've already collected them, though honestly they seem pretty much the same as before. Today we have a lot of new things from us, but first let me introduce what we had before. Everyone's favorite is the 0 Degree Space Cup. It's really cute, very cute, yes. And there's also the link card, which comes in red and black. Okay, this one is my personal favorite. 就是镜子。
人家很喜欢照镜子。对啊，来。
It's beautiful. This is cool, thank you. And there's only one more. The first place will get this. It's a very minimalist, very simple necklace from 0 Degree Space. Actually, it's very popular now to hang some charms on your bag and you can also collect them. Actually, this was actually popular back in the early 2000s, but I don't know, now it's trending again, it's come back. So the first place winner will get everything and the second and third place winners will get these 2 items I picked. Okay, right. Definitely the cup, okay? And that mirror. Get rich overnight, right? And as for the rest, well, there's the cup. Just to thank you all for taking the time to send us your stories in such detail. Yes, some of them were really long and some even sent pictures. Yeah, how should I put it? Yes, thank you, really grateful.
我要跟大家说 ，OK， 因为很多故事都是用英文来传给我们的，所以呢，我们会用英文再分享给大家。有几个就是用华文的，我们就会用华文来诉说给大家听。OK， let's go.
I'll start. My first story is from Nastasia Cheng, okay? Hi guys, I'm Naz from Malaysia. Back in 2018, my friend, during a family trip to Bangkok, we stayed at the Berkeley Hotel for one night. I believe it's a 5-star hotel, so we expected it to be a very pleasant experience. However, we were assigned to the last room at the end of the hallway, right next to the emergency staircase. The corridor was quite dim and eerie. As we casually walked to the room, nothing seemed unusual at first. But my little sister remarked, "OMG, Mommy, they gave us the last room." For context, in Chinese culture, the last room is often considered dirty or haunted. To make things worse, we forgot to knock on the door before entering. We went inside and checked the wardrobes and drawers, as usual. To our surprise, we found a note with Chinese handwriting. It looked like a child's handwriting. And since I'm a banana, which is a term for someone of Chinese descent who doesn't read or write Chinese well, I handed the note to my little sister and she read it aloud. And other women went out to play. My mother and I stayed in the hotel forever. I hate that little mountain that doesn't want us anymore. So basically, in translation, it means Daddy went out to have fun with another woman and left Mom and me in the hotel forever. I hate that mistress. Daddy doesn't want us anymore. Oh my God, jokingly, I said I wanted to investigate the case. I even took a picture of the note. At first, but after what happened later, I deleted all the photos taken in that hotel. The next morning, around 4:30 a.m., as we had an early flight to catch at 7 a.m., my mom woke up and went straight to the bathroom. The only light on was in the bathroom, so the rest of the room was pitch black. At this point, I was half awake. Suddenly, I saw a dark shadow moving towards my bed. The room was already dark, but this shadow was even darker. I froze. In the end, nothing was wrong, and I shouted for my dad to turn on the lights. He was sleeping like a log, and I had to shout several times before he finally woke up and switched on the lights. I didn't say what I saw until we were in the cab to the airport. By then, I couldn't keep it to myself anymore, and I told my family about the shadow. Initially, I thought it might have been a dream or my imagination since I was only half awake. But to my surprise, my mom revealed that she also experienced something the night before. She didn't tell us because she was worried that we wouldn't be able to sleep. While we were all asleep, she was packing our suitcase, and suddenly she heard someone calling, "Mommy, Mommy," thinking it was my little sister. She turned around, but my sister was fast asleep. Uneasy, Mom quickly finished packing, and at one point, while her head was down, she had a strong sensation that someone was dancing in front of her, but when she looked up, nothing was there. This was actually my first time encountering something paranormal, and to this day, I still wonder if the note we found was somehow connected to him. And yes, I could sense that it was a he. Okay, why did I choose this story? Because the Berkeley Hotel is the place I've been to 2 or 3 times. Do you have any similar experiences? No, I quite like the location and it's convenient, isn't it? It's very clean. But now that I've read her story, I'm a little bit scared.
没有，因为Nastasia， 你住最后一间角落的那一间，连你又没有敲门哦，你没有那个 SOP， 你懂吗？一定要有 SOP， 一定要敲门先。
Yeah.
And then 尤其是又是角落，那我听到那个纸条的那段，我跟你讲，鸡皮疙瘩。
It's very scary, really scary. This hotel, I believe there are really a lot of people, a lot of Singaporeans go to Bangkok, right? We'll stay in a hotel like that. So I believe a lot of viewers have heard of this hotel. I haven't stayed in it. Have you ever stayed in this hotel? Can you let me know, do you think this story is scary? And do you think this hotel is not clean? Or maybe it's just that...
以前，因为你去过2、3次都没有什么，对吧 ？OK， 下次你再去。
Okay, actually, I believe I would still stay there because this hotel really has a great location.
OK， then 你再住角落那一间 ，OK， 你指定跟他们讲，我要 corner 那个 corner hotel。
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Why would you do something like that?
这样不是，等一下你有经验可以分享给大家听吗？对吧？
我不要，我分享你们的故事就好了。
没有，你很喜欢，你就很喜欢看嘛，你很喜欢就是去探险，这是你一个。
OK next 。
OK next 就是应该是 June K OK June K 的故事 OK， 他说 Hi guys, I'm K. I've been watching you guys all the way since the start of the show. Love it. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to share a short story from my past job. Back when I was in secondary school, I worked at a zita store in a large canteen. As you might know, it's common for coffee shops in Singapore to have prayers tables set up during the 7th month for the good brothers and sisters. Okay. Sometimes offerings also made for a child spirit. One year, the canteen decided to pray for a child spirit whose remains were kept in a small urn. When I saw the urn, I felt pity for them. It was so small with no name or proper setup on the offering table. Feeling sorry for the child, I wrote a Chinese name on a small piece of red paper and pasted it on the wall beneath the offering table where the urn was placed. That night, as I was closing the store, I heard a soft humming of a child. I was curious, so I approached the urn and asked if the humming was from them. Using the Shen Bei, the response was yes. Wanting to show some kindness, I even bought some sweets as offerings for them. A few days later, the boss of the canteen noticed the red paper and asked who had it put up. When they found out it was me, they told me to take it down because they didn't like it. Reluctantly, I removed the red paper. The next morning, as I was getting ready for work, I received a call from a colleague He told me that the previous night, the boss's wife had been possessed by a child spirit. Through her, the spirit said they were upset because their home, which is the red paper with the name on it, has been taken away, leaving them homeless. Panicking, I rushed to the workplace. They quickly performed a ritual and sent off the small urn to properly resolve the situation. That's it.
Later at the coffee shop, they'll have a drum, and that drum will be placed over there.
对，我就那一点我就很奇怪，因为我好像没有看过。
呀，这个我也没有看过哎。
对，我觉得俊杰你很有爱心，因为你看他们就好像没有名字啊，没有什么，那你去写了一个名字放在他们那边，我觉得哇很有爱心。我觉得就是那些小孩子还是一个小孩，我也不知道，真的很感激你，所以他们才会就是有那个就是所谓你讲的 soft harming of a child， 那你去问他们，用那个神别问他们是不是他们，哇。
And it was the boss who asked him to take down that red paper, right? Because the boss doesn't like it. See, you're the one who put it up, and you're also the one who took it down. But the one who gets promoted isn't you.
对，因为他们知道你有爱心。
对，
那个老板就是他就是不喜欢而已，没有什么理由，就是他不喜欢。
But it's really strange. Why would you put this thing in a coffee shop for worship? Then it's really scary. This one is okay too, but this one also makes me a bit uneasy. Okay, let's hear from Jason. A story about a haunted suite in Malacca. A few years ago, I took my family and my wife's friend on a trip to Kuala Lumpur to meet up with my gaming group. After spending the night in KL, we returned to Singapore. But of course, we couldn't skip a stop in Malacca. Sandal, Nonya Quay, and Jonker Walk are must-haves. We stayed at Casa del Rio in Malacca because it's close to Jonker Walk, which is truly amazing. And the rooms are really nice. Usually we booked a suite because it has 1 bedroom and 2 rooms, which is perfect for my family. This place has 5 rooms, including ours, including mine, her friend, and my younger son. If you go to the other room, there are 2 small rooms. I think that's the walk-in closet, which was my first. And there's also a bathroom in there. After our trip to Jonker Walk, we returned to the suite and rested in one of the rooms. At that moment, fear quickly turned into anger. I told the spirit or whatever it was that was bothering me, but instead I stood up and became more determined. I said, if you're going to FUCK with me, meet me on the balcony. Don't touch or hurt my son. I spent the rest of the night sitting on the balcony, waiting for the spirit to show itself. Thankfully, nothing else happened. The next day, I was grateful I didn't have to drive back to Singapore as I had arranged for my company driver to handle the trip. Even now, whenever I visit Malacca, I still stay at Casa del Rio, but I make sure to avoid the Zhenghe suite.
哇哦，我觉得妈妈你好勇。
Dad, this is Jason. Dad. Yeah.
哇，Jason，哇，你很勇敢诶。
Yes, you.
可是
你还敢喊他？
Yes, you are very brave. But you called him, you challenged him, you challenged him. If anything happens on the balcony, he'll come to find you on the balcony, and you just sit there waiting for him. You left your son alone in the room.
没有，可能他就是想你不爽，那你出来哦，你懂？每次讲你不爽出去啊。
对，然后 what if 他没有出来，然后他就在房间里面
一直
disturb 你的儿子。
对。
Yeah, okay.
还好之后就没有什么事情发生啦 ，OK 啦。
I think it's because you're so fierce. Sometimes you need to be fierce with them, right? Then they'll get scared, right? Yes, because he yelled loudly, "Don't disturb me anymore." So I think maybe because you were fierce, he just accepted that he couldn't play with it and stopped. Yeah, now it's my turn.
我要分享的故事呢，就是戴安娜的故事。你们好，我是戴安娜。在一个很偶然的情况下，我在 YouTube 上看到你们主持的零度空间，结果只看了1集就停不下来了。Thank you, Diana 。OK， 今天我终于有一个真实的鬼故事可以分享给你们了，耶！所以故事是发生在他一个好朋友的家里，那位好朋友就称为小梅吧。故事是这样的，那是发生在2021年的农历7月，他们是住在1房1厅的主屋里，地点也蛮靠近4马路那一带的。因为只有一个房间，所以那晚小梅和她妈妈还有她2个儿子4个人就一起睡，而她哥哥和她的老公就睡在客厅里。 OK， 小梅睡到半夜1点多的时候，她的大儿子正在客厅里打游戏，很紧张的进来房间叫醒小梅，问了一句：“妈咪 ，You see that? Why that guy is sitting there? Who is he? How come he's in our house?” 这时小梅被儿子叫醒了，眼睛转向儿子说的那个位置一看，还真的是有一个人坐在那边，身穿一件 T 恤和牛仔裤，还背着一个背包，而他的手呢还不停往包里找东西。他的位置很奇怪，因为他是蹲在地上，一直看着小梅的哥哥和她的老公睡觉。这时小梅也发毛了，也叫醒她睡在她旁边的妈妈，叫她起来，问妈妈有没有看到那个人。妈妈从睡中醒过来，看着窗口说：“什么人都没有看到啊。”而这时小梅就急了，她就告诉妈妈：“妈妈，不是窗外，是客厅。”妈妈站起来，直接走出去，毫无一回事一样，上厕所。而小梅还亲眼看见妈妈穿过那个人，直接走进厕所里，也同样的穿过那个人，从厕所走回去房间。小梅就问妈妈：“你没有看到什么吗？”妈妈只回答：“没有啊，不过感觉有点冷冷的。”这时小梅已经2脚发麻了，一点感觉也没有了，就快点把被子盖到她头上睡觉。到凌晨4点多的时候，差不多要天亮了，她再往客厅看一看，那个人就不见了。这时小梅快点叫醒妈妈，把整家的灯都打开。小梅也叫醒她的老公，问他：“晚上你睡觉的时候有没有感觉到有人坐在你旁边看着你们睡觉？”老公回应：“没有啊，什么东西也没有啊，而且我还睡得很甜呢。”第二天，小梅就请了一位师傅到她的家看一下。师傅就告诉她，因为他们家的木门原本有一张门符，可是因为很久了，符的字体慢慢褪色了，法力就无效了，所以那个东西是从外面跟他们回来的。而不是他们祖先，因为起初他妈妈原本以为可能是他们的祖先，而且他们家里有拜观音的。之后小美也去了她认识的神坛，问了一下这件事，才知道幸好那天晚上她的老公和她的哥哥睡在一起，要不然那个人就会上她的哥哥的身，因为那个人是想要来找替身的，而她的哥哥那时候运程很低，所以就很容易被这些东西上身。幸好的是，她的老公是阴神的干儿子，身上也带有神明叫雾包贝的符，所以那个人才害怕 不敢去打扰他们两个。之后师傅也重新的给他们新的一个符，就放在他们的木门上，直到现在也相安无事了。
So maybe that person came back with Xiaomi's older brother, right? Came back with them.
对，可能还有我觉得是真的是还好，幸好，因为就是她的老公就是那个阴神的干儿子，而她的哥哥是很衰的，因为他的运程很低，当时候，所以还好她的老公真的是他们睡在
镇住那个场面，
对他们睡在一起，所以那个人才不敢就是伤他哥哥的身，要不然真的是 Oh my goodness。
Her son saw it. Yes, her son saw it. Then Xiaomi also saw it, but Xiaomi's mom couldn't see it, right? She didn't see it. But Xiaomi saw her mom walk through that person twice. It was really scary. If you can't see this, okay, next story. Okay, my third story is Crystal. My name is Crystal and I'm from Singapore. I'm telling this story for my mom. On Sunday, okay, on October 24, we were staying at a hotel in Thailand. Okay, around evening, I still remember when I first arrived at the hotel. I didn't feel good. When I entered my room, I felt uneasy and quickly went in. I started to feel sick, maybe because of the exhaustion from the previous days. The next day, I woke up and still felt unwell, so I told my mom. My mom and I talked to the hotel management and not herself. Around 12 o'clock. My mom was heading to the room. At first, she felt very strange at that time. Before entering, she noticed 3 or 4 women standing nearby, talking and facing our room. They almost blocked the hallway, but not completely. My mom kept walking, even though it was dark and a bit scary. Calling out to her, repeatedly saying, "Mom, mom, mom, mom." Me. Fine. Fortunately, my mom didn't stand up or look back. She didn't feel comfortable, but she kept walking until she reached our door. She knocked on the door, I opened it and connected with me. I felt jealous because I heard what they were talking about earlier. This kind of experience still makes me feel calm. Yes.
我还以为就是还有后面的故事。
I think there might be a spirit or soul in the hallway that's mimicking
就是他
Crystal.
他的声。
Yes, and then I was thinking if his mom heard it and turned her head, something bad might happen.
对，后果就不堪设想了。还好他没有，因为他也
Because it's Thailand.
对我觉得泰国很多这种东西。
Yes.
很多就是因为你看又是另外一个就是酒店对吧？就是走廊。
对，然后又是很暗的走。
Although this isn't the last room, it's still really dark in the hallway.
他说是很靠近最后一间，但不是最后一间。
Yeah.
还好他妈妈也很灵。
All right, after hearing this story, right? I think from now on, if I hear a familiar voice calling me in the hallway or something, I won't turn around.
等一下，你的朋友就是叫你Joey， 那你就不用。
I won't. They can imitate it. He spoke exactly like him, even his voice was identical. His mom almost turned her head.
其实很可怕，因为通常就会，如果我在走廊走的时候，我就可能要回房间还是什么，我朋友在我后面叫我，我会哈。
She would have turned around. But from now on, don't look back. Just keep moving forward. Just say, if anything happens, call me. That's enough.
OK， 好，到我了。下一个故事呢，就是 Ray。So 是英文 ，OK。Back in my mid 20s, I used to ride a scrambler motorbike. even though I'm a female. Wow! I've always enjoyed visiting haunted houses, abandoned hospital quarters, cemeteries, and similar places when I was young. Okay, exactly, 就是像这个 Joey 哈。This incident happened several years ago and is one of the most chilling experiences I've ever had. On one night, 5 of us rode our scramblers to Bukit Brown Cemetery. It wasn't our first visit to the cemetery, but on that fateful night, things took a strange turn. It started to drizzle and strong gusts of wind swiped through the area as we explored the cemetery on our motorbikes. Everything seems normal at first until we found ourselves following 2 rows of candles that led to an open, freshly dug grave. Ready for someone to be buried. Oh my goodness. What made it eerie was that despite the drizzle and strong wind, all the candles were still lit. Yeah. Sensing something was wrong, we decided to leave the cemetery immediately. However, no matter which path we took, we kept ending up at the same open grave about 3 to 4 times. For the first time, I began to feel genuinely scared. Okay, one of my friends then mentioned it could be 鬼打墙. 鬼打墙, yeah. It means it's like a saying whereby the spirits will confuse you and just make you lose your way and always end up at the same area. Okay, so he recalled a myth about breaking the spell by urinating on the ground. So he quickly got off his bike and did so. Oh my god. Okay. Strangely enough, after he did that, we managed to find our way to the cemetery entrance. I honestly can't remember how we finally got out, but the audio wasn't over yet. As we were leaving, one of our friend's motorbike suddenly had a badly punctured tire. In the pouring rain, we struggled to help him and his bike out of the area and get back home safely. Oh my goodness, so poor thing. Okay, a month later, I heard from a friend that the guy who had the punctured tire had fallen seriously ill and have been sick for almost a month. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him after that, but I believe he eventually got recovered. And Ray have to say it again, this is a true encounter and nothing has been exaggerated or changed.
Wow, I've never heard that. To explain, when it comes to this situation, if you want to get out of it, you just need to pee.
我也没有听过。
I've heard it, but this is the first time.
我有听过，就是人家讲就是鬼打墙，就是一直绕来绕去，就是找不到来他们要去的某一个地方。呀，那个我是听过。可是就是我不能。Okay,
Another story is about Darren Ang. Hello, I am a big fan of Zishi. Okay, I want to share this real life ghost story. I believe it's a perfect match for 0 degree space. Okay, the story begins. My friend often goes to Thailand and I'm especially interested in Thai magic. His family is an ordinary Chinese family and they also worship deities at home. But every time we enter his room, we always feel a creepy atmosphere even if the air conditioner isn't on. Or the room in the house would also feel very cold. He told us that the deities he worshipped in his room were all dark spirits. He also kept a lot of little ghosts, he reassured us. He told us that these dark spirits and little ghosts were there to protect him and wouldn't harm us, so we shouldn't be afraid. At that time, we didn't think too much about it. Once we went to Thailand together and he took us to meet his Ajahn, which means a Thai sorcerer. He performed some rituals with the Ajahn and also bought a few doll-like statues. The whole journey that evening was normal. But as soon as it got dark and we returned to the hotel, the atmosphere became strange. It felt especially cold. At night, we often heard faint sounds like knocking on the door and footsteps.
最让人毛骨悚然的是，
One night, we heard the sound of the shower being turned on in the bathroom, but all three of us were on the bed and no one had gone into the bathroom. My friend is braver, so he walked to the bathroom and opened the door. He checked everything and came back to tell us it was just the water pipe. The pipe was loose. He told us not to be afraid and to get a good night's sleep, but none of us slept at all that night. After returning home, everyone got busy with their own lives. We didn't notice until 2 months later when we visited his house. The statues of deities in the room, as well as those child spirit dolls, were all gone. We asked about him, and only then did he tell us about this. After he started praying to God to protect his sister, the originally harmonious family became more and more disharmonious.
家人经常为小事争吵。
After coming back from Thailand, he started having headaches. Seeing a doctor didn't help, and taking medicine could only relieve it temporarily. After a while, it would recur again. He even went for a checkup, and the brain scan report showed nothing. There was nothing wrong. He also often felt tired and didn't have the energy to do anything. He felt cold as soon as night fell. He spoke with his parents, then went to the temple to consult the gods. Here is what his parents told him. When they went to consult the gods and arrived at the temple gate, he suddenly started shaking and kept saying he didn't want to go in. His parents comforted him and slowly led him into the temple. As they approached the main hall, he suddenly started screaming, but the voice he made wasn't his at all. My friend is a boy, but the voice he made was actually a woman's voice. The temple spirit medium came out, made gestures over his head, and chanted incantations. He suddenly fainted. They carried him into the temple. After the spirit medium invited the deity, the ritual began. Halfway through the ritual, my friend woke up. But the voice was still that woman's voice. He screamed. The spirit medium continued the ritual while negotiating with him, actually negotiating with that woman during the ritual. After it was over, the spirit medium told him the whole story, explaining everything from beginning to end. Someone had cast a spell on him, and the person who did it was that Thai Ajahn, along with his dark spirit and little ghost.
加强了降
Ajah's purpose was very simple, to make him keep going back there so that he could get what he wanted, to break the spell and earn more money. The spell. Actually, the spell can't be broken, it can't be ended. It's actually a bottomless pit. And this time, the reaction was especially strong because my friend bought a Buddha amulet in Thailand. The amulet protected him and it clashed with the little ghost on him. After the spirit medium helped him break the spell and told him the reason his family was having issues, it was because of the dark spirit and the little ghost in the room. Therefore, he suggested taking these things to the temple and having the spirit medium help him. After it was resolved, my friend's headache disappeared, the family regained harmony, and life returned to normal.
我觉得这个阿赞，不好，所以就是你们要找这些阿赞啊，还是
师傅
师傅之类的，不要乱找。
呀，不
对
可以耶。
如果你找到不好的，那你就会像Darren 的朋友一样，就乱就下了降头，then 就是要引你回去一直找他，是为了什么？钱 ？No No No， 不行，真的哇，真的不可以。
Luckily, nothing happened, which is good. They met Ji Tong, who helped solve the problem, right? I heard stories about when they arrived at the temple entrance, right? They couldn't go in and they couldn't do anything, nothing could be done. And then the temple staff would say, sorry, we can't help you. I've heard stories like that. So I think they were pretty lucky to meet someone who could help them.
找到一个比较好的、比较强的，能帮他们解。哇，真的是还好。
幸好没事。
对 ，OK，So 下一个就是我来分享伟林的故事。I'm WL, sharing this story on behalf of my husband. My husband used to be a police officer, and this is one of his most eerie experiences. One night before his morning shift, he had an unusual dream. In the dream, he was patrolling at Bukit Batok Xiao Guilin, searching for someone. He didn't think much of it at a point of time. The next morning when his shift began, he and his team went about their usual routine. Soon after, they were notified of a missing person reported, filed at their station. The individual was suffering from an illness, was believed to be suicidal, as he had reportedly been waiting for his time at home. Okay, so without hesitation, my husband and his partner decided to head down to Xiao Guilin, the exact location from his dream. Instead of staying on the pedestrian pathway, they chose to go off the beaten track, trekking up slopes and climbing over boulders. When they reached the top, they discovered a walking stick lying on the ground. At that moment, my husband felt a sudden, chilling shiver. They later then confirmed that the walking stick belongs to that missing person, suspecting that he had jumped down into the pond. They immediately called SCDF to assist in the search. It didn't take long for the divers to find his body in the pond. When their commanding officer asked why they had decided to search in such an unusual area, away from the typical pedestrian path, my husband realized something spine-chilling. Both he and his partner had that same dream that led them to that particular area. Shortly after this incident, my husband fell ill with a fever. This eerie event happened a few years ago during the 7th lunar month. 我觉得有点诡异，因为他和他的搭档，就同一时间、同一个晚上梦到同一个梦，而隔天他们就是行动同样的东西，你懂吗？就是去到同样一个地方找一个就是什么啊 missing person。
Yes, I truly believe that.
那么
I don't want to say too much, but I personally had an experience where I had the same dream as someone else. Like something happened and we both had the same dream.
then 那个事情真的有发生吗
I don't want to say too much, but that's why I believe in this. I really do believe in it.
？OK， 就是说那件事情有发生。哇，我真的 OK， 是我觉得很奇妙，但是就是很奇怪又很可怕的一件。
I don't really know, yeah. Oh my God, we're relying on this.
OK， 我们不要问主意。
看啊，我再不
We've all grown up.
所以小桂林这些地方我都有去。
But I really haven't heard any stories about suicide there.
其实如果我们有看新闻的话，就是我有看过，就是几件可能就是有发生在小桂林的事嘞，我有听说过。因为有一次蛮久了 ，OK， 很多年前，我和以前的团队就是有去小桂林拍摄的时候，就有无意间就是听到有很多杂声音啊，就是有很多人在一边就是来 ，Oh my God， 是不是有一个人跳进去？因为我好像看到一个人跳进去，这种东西。
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean， 我也不经常去小桂林，因为真的是离我家很远，没有事我不会去那边。但是我相信这件事，还有我也相信，就是在小桂林会有这些事情。
But this WL, your husband experienced something like this. Something happened with his partner, right? Right? Actually, at that time, I believe when they were talking, it really gives you goosebumps, yes. And then you would feel, oh my God, maybe it was the person who passed away sending them a message in their dreams, because he also knew it would be the two of them on duty. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Okay.
哇，这个故事。
Next. Okay, I want to share another story, and this one is from 20 years ago, I was a migrant worker in Singapore from Malaysia. I started my career in Singapore. I lived in Tiong Bahru, sharing a room with other Malaysians who also worked in Singapore. The place I remember most is Bowutan Garden in the 90s. The Tiong Bahru complex that we used to live in has now become a condominium. The agency in Tiong Bahru is now at 44 Dantem, and above that there was a sign, but 44D was not very valuable. However, I didn't think much about it at that time. That sign was for security, and my room was just a small unit separated from others. There was a bathroom next to it, but it wasn't very comfortable. There was a hatch above the ceiling that could be closed with a wooden board. This was probably for the landlord to access the house. I lived there for a few years, and honestly, there was nothing special about it. But I often heard strange noises above my ceiling, like small animals running around, or sometimes the sound of things being dragged, maybe tools or something similar. Being dragged. Then sometimes my friends and I would try to check the ceiling, but we never really managed to get up there. One day my friend asked me if I ever heard noises above the ceiling. I just answered that I often heard strange sounds, but my friend said it was nothing and that it wasn't anything to worry about. Footsteps off. A small entity lived in the house. She went on to explain that these entities were being kept in the attic, and the imprint of a small table on the wall was the remains of an altar. Apparently, what was living up there beside us. These entities never bothered us or tried to take us away. They just moved around in their own way. From what I've heard all these years, it's not just my house that has these things, but also the houses around, especially those with attics. The attic was very dark. I felt like something was flying. We couldn't be wrong. In the end, the air conditioning in the attic had been running all the time, even when it was closed for several months. Until today, I still wonder if 44D on the fourth floor of the building, at the end of the hallway, there is something related to the entity that is there. It definitely adds to the mystery. Evan shared a picture for this story. We'll put the picture here for you to see, okay? But it seems like this was unlucky from the very beginning.
因为44吗？
44D is on the fourth floor again, and ABCDD is also the fourth letter in the word. Oh, I see. So it's 444 fourth floor.
哎，可是我喜欢的号码也是4，
Oh, okay.
还有24，哎，那24，人家讲就是好像广东话以谁来，就很容易死一下。
Oh my goodness.
但是我喜欢的号码 OK，anyway，
But I think the air conditioner is on, right? Maybe when they locked it, they forgot to turn it off.
是如果他们真的，我觉得忘记关的几率会比较低，因为如果你知道 OK， 如果是我去锁，如果我去锁的话，我当然会知道空调是有开的，因为有冷气嘛，冷冷的嘛。我不可能会就是冷冷的，我也不管，我不看那个空调有开吗？不可能啊。
But if you accidentally turned on the air conditioner before leaving the room and then you went out, so you didn't feel cold because it was just turned on.
你怎么是不小心的开的？你懂吗？
Because
因为我们懂我们的空调的那个 remote，就是要没有的很不小心开。
Maybe a homeowner, I think. A homeowner is also possible. Yeah.
真的是也有可能是房东的，对。
Because there was an altar there before, right? So you want to place an altar, tenants wouldn't place an altar, it's the landlord. So yes, it should be the owner who invites it. And it's also the child spirit they raised. Next is my story. Well, not my story, it's from Zubin.
他说 I'm a viewer of your channel and I absolutely love every episode. Thank you. I'm also happen to be a former primary school table mate of Jess in Chinese class. 直滨 primary school. Oh my god, 小学.
Do you know him?
I think I kinda remember you. Oh my goodness.
你的朋友。
Yeah, hi 直滨, long time no see.
Hello, Jimin.
Okay, and I hope my story can be shared with your viewers. Here you are. During my time in BMT in 2014, my platoon experienced a rather bizarre and chilling incident. I was part of one of the company at BMTC, School 4. For context, School 4 is surrounded by forests and is located quite a distance away from the 3 other schools. Okay. In BMT, everyone had to wake up for breakfast at 5:30 a.m. and the menu rotated daily. For example, Monday might feature sausage and scrambled eggs, Tuesday, lok mai kai, Wednesday, gardenia bread, and so on and so forth. So one of my platoon mates called David loved the sandwiches, okay? He always tried to smuggle extra sandwiches back to the bunk, even though it was strictly forbidden by the sergeant, okay? It was practically impossible to sneak food back without getting caught. Aha, David. One morning after breakfast, David jokingly told the group how he wished he could bring more sandwiches back to the bunk as snacks to eat after morning physical training. After making the comment, he returned to the bunk to rest for about an hour before the next training session began. As everyone were in their platoon, David had a personal locker cabinet beside his bed, which we were all required to keep it locked whenever we leave our bunk. That morning, we all locked our cabinets and headed to the stadium for our physical training. When the training ended, we were given an hour to wash up and prepare for the next activity. Back at the bunk, David unlocked his cabinet, only to be shocked at what he found inside: a sandwich. At first, he thought someone had played a prank on him by slipping a sandwich into his cabinet. However, he was certain he had locked it before leaving for training. Regardless, David being David, he struck it off, ate the sandwich, oh my god, and went to shower. The day continued as usual. After dinner, we returned to the bunk for rest and personal time before lights out. When David opened his locked cabinet again, he was stunned to find yet another sandwich inside. This time, he started to feel uneasy, thinking it might still be a prank. He went around asking his platoon mates if anyone was behind this. Everyone was just as surprised and amused as he was. David eventually reported the incident to the platoon sergeant, and the sergeant came to the bunk, warned everyone not to play such prank, and threatened to punish them if anyone was caught doing so. The sergeant then told David to eat the sandwich. So he did. The next morning, breakfast wasn't supposed to include sandwich. It was Western breakfast that day. After breakfast, David returned to the bunk again and unlocked his cabinet. Once again, he found a sandwich inside. This time, he ran straight to the company office to report it. The platoon sergeant, now realizing that this wasn't a prank, went to the bunk, retrieved the sandwich, and disposed it. After this strange series of events, David began skipping breakfast altogether whenever sandwiches were on the menu. From that point, nothing unusual happened. Wow.
啊，
哇哦
Sandwich。
对，我觉得 OK，Anyway，、嗨志斌真的是好久不见了，谢谢，
你记得他吗？
我觉得我记得，我觉得你小学的时候很瘦的对吗？很瘦高的，我觉得就是那个志斌，因为我觉得我就是学校以来只有认识一个志斌，就是他了。OK，Anyway，、你的故事 ，David， 我觉得是因为可能他们的帮不干净。而且 David 又很喜欢吃 sandwiches， 对吗？很喜欢吃三文治。他有时不时会偷是三文治回去他的帮 lock 在他 cabinet。对，我觉得哇，可能那个就是有一个东西，我不知道是什么，可能是有一个东西，就是看到你的朋友 David 很喜欢吃三文治，所以他就那我就做好心人吧，你懂。
Yeah, I think that might be really fond of David. He also knows he can't always sneak up, right?
被抓，
对，
没关系，我帮你。
对，可能呀，对。
Luckily, it's not one. No, he didn't say he ate it. Let me tell you, he ate raw dough.
我还以为志斌会跟我说，哦，他吃了他会生病，可是没有生病。
对，
还好真的是没有生病，所以我觉得那个东西是好心。
Yeah, that thing, sandwich buffet, and then Sarant let him eat it. I said, huh?
对，我觉得我还以为他的小娟会叫他丢掉。
Yeah. You can't take it out with you, so if you see it, why keep eating? Just throw it away.
为什么？过了就是早餐的时间，你还有一个 sandwich 啊，可能你就不要吃，对大家公平嘛，大家也没有得吃，那你就不要吃。
对。
呀，哇，很有趣，这个故事真的很有趣。那我们听了10个不同的故事呢，真的是谢谢你们10位分享给我们，还有我们的观众们。
Yeah. Actually, there are still so many stories. Yeah. We can't choose that many, but if we get the chance, we might pick your story. Definitely.
那我最喜欢的呢，其实真的很难选，因为我觉得全部都是很不同种的故事，不同种的经验。全部都很有趣，怎么办？我真的是选不了。
Huh? I choose, okay, the 5 stories I mentioned, right? I think my favorite one, if I have to choose. If I had to vote for one, my favorite is Darren's story, the one where his friend was cursed. Because I think by sharing this story, I can also let everyone know that when you go to Thailand, if you want to look for a master or ajahn, you have to be careful, really be careful, okay?
那我们是怎么投票的呢？
In the comment section, you can just comment.
就是我们会说，这个是故事1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10 ，OK， 那你就在留言区跟我们说你喜欢哪一个故事 ，OK？ 那得到最高票的故事呢，就是我们的 champion。
First place, okay, first place is there's no winning or losing. Yeah, there's no winning or losing. But it's just the most popular one, okay? You will receive our gift package. Yeah, we have all the gifts inside. The voting deadline is next Friday, so you have a week to vote. You watch it, then ask your friends to watch it, and then share it with your friends. Yeah. And then watch it. You have 7 days to watch. You can keep rewatching it and then vote.
那我们也要在这里谢谢大家对我们这一年的支持，耶
！Yeah, haha.
我们会慢慢进步的，请对我们有点耐心 ，OK？ 还有呢，明年我们一定会推出就是更好的作品给大家，更好的节目给大家。
I also hope it will be even more exciting. I also hope we can go overseas and collaborate with other friends.
那我们祝大家圣诞节快乐
and Happy New Year!
我们2025年见
Hey, wait a minute. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Hey, it's been a year and we still can't get these, right? Haha. You guys got them already.